Pat keeps staring at photo, mom sets up camera. She stood there in shock, curious and confused. She never saw a cat act like this before. When she realized what was happening, it changed everything. There had to be some other explanation, but the more she looked into it, the more she knew there wasn't. Where on earth did she learn this, and how did she know? If it wasn't for her son, Max, Erin Nimmerter would have never agreed to get a cat. Erin was a single mom and loved her son more than life itself. So when he decided to enlist in the US Navy, she was understandably upset. For as long as she could remember, it had always been just the two of them, but now things were about to change. As soon as Max knew he wanted to join the Navy, guilt washed over him at the idea of leaving his mom alone. He knew she'd be lonely, so he came up with the perfect idea. When he first told Erin to adopt a cat, she was completely against it. She hated the idea of caring for and cleaning up after a cat. Little did she know, this was no ordinary cat. Despite Erin's reservations, Max insisted. He wanted the cat to keep her company when he went off to boot camp and his deployments. Eventually, Erin agreed and they both went to the Cleveland Animal Protective League. When Erin looked around at so many animals waiting to find a home, her heart broke. That's where she met Yuki. Yuki was a female kitten with shiny black fur. She was picked up from the streets and taken to the shelter, where she waited to get adopted. One of the first things that Erin noticed was how lonely she looked in her isolated crate. Her heart bled for her, and Max felt the same. They took her home, sure they made the right decision, but they had no idea what was coming. It didn't take long for Yuki to become a full-fledged member of their family. Even though the original idea when adopting Yuki had been to provide a companion for Erin, the kitten quickly took to Max. She would snuggle with him every chance she got and always followed him around the house. And Max was smitten with her too. But heartbreak was on the horizon. Max had a way with animals. Since he was young, they just connected with him in a way I always found remarkable, Erin recalled. The two shared a bond that Erin found adorable to watch. But when it was time for Max to be shipped off to boot camp, the unbelievable extent of their connection was revealed. After Max left, Erin put a picture of him on top of her dresser. The next day, she found Yuki sitting in front of the picture, staring at it. That's when things started to get strange. Staring at his picture soon became an everyday occurrence. Erin didn't understand why she did this, so she set up a camera for more answers. But what she was about to find would only raise more questions. She just sits there, stares and meows, and then lays down next to the picture to nap, said Erin after she watched the footage. It looks like she misses him. Like she recognizes him in the picture. But what was really happening was much more than that. Erin still couldn't believe that a cat could recognize a person from a picture. She thought there might be some other explanation, so she decided to try something else. She moved the picture around, placing it on different pieces of furniture in different parts of the house, and left the camera rolling. Every time, Yuki found it and continued to stare. What was it that drew her to his picture? Could she really recognize him? Did she really miss him? It was then when Erin got the phone call. Erin answered the phone. To hear Max on the receiving end, he was upset and wanted to go on video to see them both, her and Yuki. He was deeply homesick and found the training hard. Erin was surprised. She thought he was having the time of his life. He never expressed any of this to her before. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. Once Yuki recognized Max on the phone call, she let out a string of meows. It really looked like she was desperate for his attention. Now, there was no doubt in Erin's mind that Yuki was heartbroken over Max's departure. She told Max what Yuki had been doing with his picture and Max couldn't believe it. Then he joked that maybe it was more than that. Maybe Yuki knew that Max was having a hard time in training all along and knew he was in distress. Given their connection, Erin wouldn't have been surprised. Then she had an idea. To comfort the cat and her son, she bought Yuki an adventure backpack, a sort of cat carrier with a domed window that people can wear on their backs, and decided to take her to visit Max at training. Erin and Yuki made the long journey to Max about a month before he finished boot camp. He was delighted to see them both, and it was just what he needed to get him through to graduation. Yuki was also delighted to be back in his arms, even just for a little while. Max passed his training after that and will serve with the Navy for another 6 years. That means Erin and Yuki will be on their own for quite a while. But thankfully, the pair have bonded over their love for Max and will be able to keep each other company when they miss him. They've since become even closer, and Yuki has now started to meow for Erin as much as she did for Max.